Greetings, you secretly sapient computer errors that just made me mess up my recording and miss the first 10 minutes of this video, and welcome back to Cosmoteer with me, Lathrix, and of course, welcome to the second time with me recording this intro just after I defeated a renegade pack using only the 2 ravens because I wanted to test out missiles. But now we are here officially back in the game. I've checked my recording software and everything is going well. So today our main goal is to change up the Malal's Wrath for a few reasons. First of all, I'm just not happy with it. I think it works absolutely fine, but I'm just not a fan of the design overall, and I want to do a massive overhaul. So it's going to be turned from the Malal's Wrath into the Nurgle's something or other, perhaps the Bulwark or something like that. It's going to be a lot tankier. It will still have the cannons, don't you worry. The deck cannons will still be on this craft, but probably less of them. Because, as a lot of you have mentioned, it turns out the cannons actually block the line of sight of each other as well. It doesn't say that in their little description here, but it does seem to be the case. I know you can place them near other tool things. I guess then it is just implied that, yeah, they can't actually see over each other. Now, thankfully, they weren't in a perfect line anyway. As you can see, they were already a little bit tapered off to the sides here, so the issue wasn't that bad. But yeah, in the previous footage, you could clearly see some of the shots being completely devoured by each of the cannons, or one of the cannons simply not being able to fire, so I will be changing that up drastically. And of course, I want more missiles, so I think the upgraded Wrath will indeed have some kind of missile capability, perhaps just a little bit of EMP, just something to make it a bit more unique, a bit more of a general purpose craft rather than just one weapon per craft, which we've been going with at the moment. So I'm going to go over to the creative mode and we're going to test out a few ideas, and also check out just how these cannons actually work, in terms of blocking each other. Used them for this long, didn't know a glaring flaw in them. That's the classic Lathrix way. So yeah, over in creative mode, clearly these things block the shots. So the mining laser blocks it, the sensor array does, other cannons, that's the important one there. But the bridge doesn't, which I'm actually a little bit interested in. I thought that would block it, but I guess these do have an additional moving section on top. I don't know what else will block it, I'm sure there's other things as well, but yeah, that's something we need to consider in the future, and with this redesign. So I'm thinking something like this, and this time I'll actually do some proper armor weaving, which again, I forgot with the Wrath. I don't know why that always slips my mind, but apparently it does. Lots of armor on the front. We're still going to go with the cannons, because we can hide those behind the armor, so imagine probably 3 on each side. Okay, this has to be bigger. Wider on the front. Then I'm thinking missiles in some gaps here, all that thrusters protected near the back, loads of armor, some shielding, and maybe even a single railgun down the center. I mean, we could have a couple of railguns and try railgun fanning, essentially, when you go left and right, just in order to hit the same location on the enemy with all of your railguns. I'm thinking maybe just one. We'll see. This is obviously just a very rough blueprint. In the same way I am a rough blueprint of a human. Hey everyone, Future Lathrix here, just to say this was definitely one of those videos which really got away from me. I went in with a precise goal in mind, with different talking points to talk about like rail fanning and other things I've been reading up on, the actual technical things to do with the game, and then proceeded to just make something utterly chaotic instead. This was definitely one of the most fun videos I've had in a while. It was just so fun to go all out with this final design of the Malal's Wrath. A few tweaks still need to be made, but overall, you're about to see its final form, and it has a little bit of everything. And a lot of stuff in excess. So I really do hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for the support so far with this series. I know that long-running series aren't the most popular on YouTube, especially with games like Cosmoteer, but I'm still here, fighting the good fight against the shorts. So likes and comments will always be very welcome. So with that, back to the past, before Lathrix slowly loses his mind, designing this thing 3 times. So testing out the flak, honestly the damage doesn't seem dreadful. Probably still better as point defense though, honestly. One of the main problems I'm seeing, well, 2 main problems. A, it's ammo hungry, which that ammo could be used for other things like more cannons, but also their arc of fire is utterly dreadful, so getting more than a couple to focus on a specific point is a bit difficult. But it is a nice general bit of damage, quite easy to set up. Not too sure if I'll end up using them as the actual weapons. So I've been trying to think, what exactly do we want the Malal's Wrath to be? And I think it should be a general purpose, quite tanky vehicle, probably the most expensive in the fleet, that will spearhead the attack, with everything else having more specialised roles. For instance, the Corruptor of Tzeentch at the moment is laughably weak to frontal assault, but it does have a decent ion beam right and can pump out a lot of damage if it's not being focused on. We have the Railguns, which will eventually be converted into a new mega ship, which will all be to do with missiles and disruption and getting around the enemy target, focused on speed, and eventually we'll have a Nurgle-craft, which I don't really know exactly what role it will fulfill. Maybe a point-blank Brawler or something like that. But I think the Wrath should have a little bit of everything. So I'm thinking a center section here of a Railgun. Ignore the actual design right now, this is just me throwing things around. So a Railgun in the center, well, 2 Railguns in the core, then moving out, having its armor as 2 major spikes like this, and then 2 ion beam emitters at the front here, able to just move by themselves, and they can be powered from the core down here, so that leaves me a lot of room to branch out, to defend the core itself, to add more shielding, more regular armor, everything else. So we have consistent damage, we have burst damage, and that also gives us space for our cannons. I think that's what the Wrath needs to evolve into. Okay, that's something I need to change. Right now it's on fire at will, so it'll fire as soon as it sees any of the enemy's blocks, which is kinda useless since it's gonna hit the edges a lot. That needs to be changed. Well, the damage seems decent. And it's gone. Moving forward a little bit, so this is kind of the idea I'm going with now. Gonna try and protect these prisms as much as possible, by which will sadly also limit their arc of fire. And this is kind of the position we want to take on the enemy. Basically, we're trying to scalpel it directly into its core, directly into its center, holding it in place for the other craft to do their thing. And we also have 6 deck cannons, so we should, once all this is properly operational, they should be able to pump out a lot of damage and probably even overwhelm enemy shielding without the use of EMP. Though we could also put down some basic shock stuff here, which wouldn't be that bad. I also think I've put these a little bit too close to each other. I think they might be stunning each other's crew, which isn't good. Well, the shields went down, but not before we destroyed the Corruptor, or at least the Corruptor's main weaponry. Okay, so we can't actually outmaneuver this, so just stay where you are, yeah, just rotate into the core of the next. Both beams still very much online. We have absolutely no EMP capability at the moment, so the enemy shields will pose a major threat to us. Please don't get in the way, Corruptor. I'm now seeing the problem with these cannons not being able to fire because of line of sight. Well, at least this can be proof that the new one is going to be stronger when it's finished. By a significant margin. Okay, so it's like 30 minutes later because I can't decide how I want this craft to look or function. To such a degree, I've now made 3 craft. Yeah, I'm leaning more towards the center one at the moment. I know that the ion prisms have been done very weirdly, so much so that they have more of a gap than I need to, but I think it looks really, really awesome when it fires. That's literally the only reason. Not because of efficiency, not because of conserving power. I think it just looks interesting. I've gone very jagged sort of sides here, because I think it looks interesting having the more gappy look. Looks a bit more, I don't know, less normal ship-like, which is what I want with the Wrath. I think the missile craft I'm going to try and make look like a proper battleship, but this one I want to look distinct, to say the least. So I'm going with this. The railgun I've pretty much kept the same. I've just put the people around a lot better, so now it's far more efficient. It doesn't just wait for so long. The thrusters are definitely vulnerable at the back, so I'm thinking about extending some side pieces to give it a bit more distinction, but also to protect these thrusters. It's decently quick, though not exactly fast, just enough to really outmaneuver some very, very slow craft. Then I have these chunks at the front, which, honestly, I don't know what I'm going to do with. Huge blocks of armor would be nice. Again, this is meant to be our tanking vessel. Or we could have some flak, or we could use some of these tiny little zappy zappers, which I always forget the name of, the disruptors. We could easily have some disruptors going along here. I'm not too sure. I do know this is going to be a lot more expensive than our current Wrath. I was looking at the cost, it's going to be probably about double, so just over a Corruptor's cost. Is that because these two are too close? Yeah, these two are too close, so it's trying to dodge them and it's getting very confused. I don't know. I really don't know what I'm doing here. Which I know is a huge shock. The more I look at this one, the more I do kind of like it. It's kind of having a very mild Star Trek kind of style with the main head here kind of being like a disc, and then these two coming off the sides being with its engines and everything else. It's just a bit too stumpy. It's like you've compacted it into the form of a space invader. A weird Star Trek-y space invader, and I'm okay with that. I wish I could move these a bit further back, but it functions the way I want it to at the moment, so I'm going to do a test versus one of the other designs I threw together. Because this one is significantly stronger than the Miles Wrath, the old school one. And we'll see what happens. I want to find any weaknesses, first of all. And if this one ends up winning, with its weird kind of face in the middle there, then so be it. When I paint it, I'll make sure to add a lot of shadow to try and make this section look like it's on top of everything else. And I think it'll look alright, honestly. Bit dull compared to some of the other designs, but I think it'll look alright. So this one has a lot of shielding on the front, along with quite a few missiles. It definitely has weak spots though on these little shoulder pieces I've made. And the AI apparently currently set up to just hug me, which is interesting. Not quite what I intended there. Okay, I'm already seeing problems with our railgun, for a start. Major problems. That did not want to reload at all. Okay, so I need to sort out the energy. Oh! Wasn't paying attention. Apparently our railgun was strong enough though to kind of obliterate the target. I've gone with just these three really basic ion emitters. They're just about being charged by a medium reactor each. Just for some excess damage, clip shields, clip little weak spots, just put pressure on the enemy. The cannons are definitely doing the bulk of the damage, to be perfectly honest. It's hard to see sometimes, but yeah. We have 8 cannons again, this time with all line of sight. I think this thing's going to do just fine in the area we're currently in. Need to see what's going on though with that railgun. I'm thinking it's just a crew issue, or energy issue, or my stammering issue. See, I can't think and talk at the same time, which may explain a lot of my gameplay choices. That'll do for now. We'll probably add and change it a lot when we get back into the game itself. It's hard to test when you're testing versus your own designs over and over again, and honestly, it's a lot easier when you're fighting some proper enemies. So we'll do some testing and then make some changes accordingly. So I've just done a really basic paint scheme here. I can add a lot more later on. I kind of wish I built this backwards because I do like gaps like this at the front, but I think it will serve our needs decently. It's definitely going to be hyper vulnerable to being flanked, and honestly pretty vulnerable to missiles. We'll see just how bad that is in the game itself. If that does become more of an issue, over here there's nothing, over here there's nothing. There's lots of areas we can add more armor, add defenses if we need to. This is a canvas for what's to come. Okay, back to the game itself, and let's see how expensive this thing really is to build. I'm thinking it's going to need a lot of enriched uranium. Just like I thought, we do need a lot of enriched uranium, but actually we also need loads of steel. So much so, there wasn't enough at any of the stations, so going around to the corpses, now picking up some of the cheaper stuff. Okay, 2 enemies here in this asteroid field. The first, okay, we've seen you before. Just go straight for that core. That's what we did before with our cannons. That actually worked. This time we have more cannons. So one would assume this should work. If we're even a little bit accurate, that is. Cannons, can fire where I want you to hit, please. Since that laser's oh, how do they target the beams so perfectly? Straight for the ion prism. It must be something in the AI that prisms must be such a high value target. They went straight for it with absolutely everything. Still, Managed to hold off their main damage against my cannons and everything else for a while. First enemy is defeated. We repair, and we back off a little bit. Seriously, a pirate hunter? I don't know if I need to score the actual killing blow for this to count. Though by the looks of things, you may have actually just defeated that. And once again, I'm going to go straight for its core, which is a terrible idea. Look how many shields it has, but I want to see how we do. Oh, plus, it looks like the pirate hunter's still alive, so as long as we can keep it distracted, we're kind of uneasy allies for a moment. Oh, I forgot to change the railguns. You can change them so they only fire against specific blocks, and then all you need to do is turn the craft left and right a little bit, and you can essentially fan the rails so they hit where you want them to hit. But no, Lathrix always forgets basic things. And when it comes to complex things, well, then he doesn't have a chance. Okay, both our beams are coring into its sides, so they're going to get through eventually. In fact, they're getting through pretty darn quickly. And, meanwhile, this thing's just gnawing at it. This is kind of the idea I had, though, holding it in place and dealing damage to a wide spectrum of its areas, whilst my other craft deal the damage. So this is kind of what I wanted to see. Our shields are slowly being worn down, but it's taking them a very long time. Wow. Okay, I'm very happy with how the defenses have held up this time. If you could actually get through, though, that'd be great. Yeah, some basic EMP would be so good right now, and that's why I'm going to have EMP craft with me in the future. Because imagine how much easier this would be if its shields were offline. Like mine are, because it keeps firing EMP at me. Come on, I hope it gets at the reactor. Thank you. Okay, still against one enemy. Let's see if we can get to the next as well, then. That thing's still alive? Well, hopefully that doesn't come to bite me in the butt. Ooh, the rails are actually doing good even though they're not targeting what I want them to target because we're being pushed around. Defense is still holding pretty well. Okay, one of our beams has gone, but it's still able to fire a little bit. I've noticed a few things. The rails here and here keep on running out of energy, so clearly that still needs to be worked on. I need to set up another job type just for fueling those things, I think. Okay, let's have a look at the damage then. Lost the wing section here completely. Haven't lost the cannon, though we almost did. We lost one reactor on this side. That reactor's still up just about, was about to go. Shields held incredibly well. This armor held incredibly well, which is all our main sections. Yeah, you know what? Very pleased with that. Very, very pleased. Oh yeah, you're still a thing, aren't you? Thankfully, cannons can fire almost completely sideways. In fact, no, they can fire sideways. Cannons are still the main weapon. Let's be real. There's 8 of them. They were just chunking the whole time. There we are. Hello there, Acolyte. What do you do? I'm seeing lots of heavy laser blasters. You have a basic ion beam emitter. Lots of shielding, in fact. Seems like more than anything you're a tank. Okay. Couple missiles, is that from you? Yep, couple missiles as well. Oh, that emitter is not... I completely didn't notice this emitter here. Go for that, I suppose. Fire everything at once. See, the cannons are still definitely the main weapon, without a doubt. They just have such high damage potential. Okay, there's another enemy arriving though. Do I keep on attacking? This is going to put me exactly where I don't want to be in terms of rotation. There we go. Okay, rotate right now. Yeah, cannon's good, is the point I'm trying to make here. Did you have to hurt my shield? Some damage taken to my armor, I don't think anything else. Ooh, good, we're far enough away from the next enemy, I can actually repair. Mid-combat, which is pretty lovely to see. Oh, rank 8. Well, this won't really be too much of a challenge then. Just copious amounts of cannon fire. Lovely, okay. A corpse 3. And a corpse 4. 4. And we get that from the Teleo station, which is originally where I left Raven, but the Raven's been... You've been dragged along by that thing? There we go. That got dragged along miles. Okay. There is a pack bounty as well. That's 4 of them. I would like to... I think I'm just going to go around and try and find a roving pirate. I still want to fight stronger enemies with this thing to make sure I'm seeing any weaknesses. I've already noticed a few. Mostly in the railgun itself, which is a bit of a shame. Chalk it up to inexperience and the fact that the railgun was kind of a secondary thought over just how much armor and cannons can I put on this thing without it being silly. But it has to be. It's like a locust swarm now we have so many crew members. Okay, so what we're going to do is try to finish off this episode by rescuing the station. I think. Ugh, 2 pirates, it's a rank 16, this is going to be incredibly difficult. Shall I? Shan't I? I will see if I can find some good pirates on the way, and if I can't, I'll do it. Being attacked by a swarm, which is incredibly annoying. Oh, you're a much larger target. I'm glad I didn't focus on you first. That'd have been the smart thing to do. We can't have that here now, can we? Just lots of explosive dumbness. See, that was just annoying. And now I need ammo again. Didn't use up that much ammo, but we're about to fight a base. Why aren't you moving? You are, but slowly. Okay, fine, we'll clear the area then, now we're here. Destroy the swarm, back to the base. Oh, I remember you. I haven't seen one of you in a while. I have railguns too now. Mine are kind of the same size, actually. I was going to say bigger, but no, basically the same, but more centralized. Are we done? Okay. Was that a mission from anywhere, by any chance? Doesn't look any of these. Can things stop trying to haunt me all the time? I meant to say hunt, but I said haunt by mistake. Ooh. Okay, well, you sure like your missiles, don't you? Not that much EMP at least, so at least that first wave is probably going to not do all that. Oh, no, you have EMP as well, of course you do. I was clearly being too hopeful. Wow. That was very quick at taking away my weapon. No idea why you just turned, though. That was the silliest thing you could have possibly done. Did I just detach your neck? Oh, so close. Stop targeting the ion prism. There we go. So, yeah, these prisms still need to be more protected. I just don't know how at this point, without just completely compromising their turning circle. Yeah, I need to fix that. I thought I fixed it, then I remembered I haven't yet changed the jobs. Still need ammo. Send the reloading swarm. Okay, here we go. As soon as we get there, the pirates will activate and start attacking the station. At least that's what happened last time we did one of these. Okay, 1 pirate either side. Raven, you go over there, see if you can disable the other pirate. I think that's a pirate that's actually moving. Yeah, okay, so pirate, station. Gonna swing the Wrath around a little bit with the Corruptor still following along. In fact, Corruptor, go ahead. I want to try and peel that towards us. That way this one's gonna have a tough time getting to us. The Raven's fast enough to hit and then run. If only there's a name for that kind of attack. The Smack and Leg It, I think it's called. So what are we gonna see? Okay, that's the big prism ship, isn't it? In that case, we have a perfect target. If we can just take out those thrusters, that'd be great. Then one of you. Okay, in that case I'm going to just charge straight in. Yeah, Corruptor, do what you're already doing. Swing around. Okay, now you fired the EMP, run away. That wasn't great, I admit. Could have been a little bit better. There we go, that was more like it. That's going to halt them a little bit at least. Then if some of these high explosives can hit the mark as well. Lovely, that's going to make it way more difficult for it to swing around to us. Our rail does hit, a really lovely spot. It's not really focusing on us at all. We could just stick around firing what high explosives we have. Took out all of its engines. That's exactly what I wanted. So, yeah, focus on those next and just stay kind of max range. The stations are teeny tiny. I'm not even looking at them. Don't want to have the Corruptor go in just yet, because I really don't want it to be targeted. The Raven's just being annoying. Perfectly annoying, in fact. Oh, we're now in cannon range. It still hasn't turned. This is actually not proving to be a particularly difficult fight. The Raven as well is being an absolute menace. It stopped this thing from moving this entire fight. Can the Raven actually solo this? This is why we need a proper missile craft. Imagine if this thing had double, if not triple, the Alpha Strike of that then. Oh, Corruptor, no. I want to see if the Raven can solo it. Stop being and you? If we can take out this, then it's not able to move at all. Okay, we're fine with that. I mean, that is it. We have disabled its movement completely. And because it needs to actually target the enemy and point directly towards it to fire at all, it's dead in the water. Well done to the Raven. Oh. Oh, did I take out the command centers? That thing is almost at full health. Hey, the Corruptor actually got to fire at something. I am going to do something I haven't done in a while. Transfer crew to the Sol. With say transfer 1. Dink. That is not expensive to repair at all. Oh, that's how it's done its prisms. Okay, I get it. Yes, what happened? Why did it go down? Oh, because if you destroy all thrusters, I think that can count as well. Let's get our money. It's a lot of money as well. 432,000 credits, 501 fame, 1,000 reputation, and a whole load of new missions for us to complete. I'm so happy with the Wrath. I think the Wrath is doing splendidly, despite the fact there's definitely some flaws there. We need to make a new Raven. We need to make a Slanesh craft, which is going to be bird-shaped as well, but much bigger, with an actual respectable payload so it can keep on firing. That was just so much fun. The Corruptor got to do nothing in that fight, but that was purely because the Vega got completely stuck, so it just wasn't needed. What do I do with this thing? Oh my god, I could just convert this into the new ship. It's already vaguely bird-like. Okay, so in the comments, do I convert this into our new missile craft, essentially give it to the Raven as a gift, or do we make something from scratch? I am going to have to end it here. This recording has gone on way longer than I expected. Hopefully the video will still be out by this weekend, so I do really hope you've enjoyed. I have loved this video. I think I'm making some progress. I'm still making mistakes as we go, but the game is so addictive and so wonderful to play. So if you have enjoyed the video, then of course, likes, favourites, shares, comments, all that good stuff, helps out me, helps out the channel, and most importantly, shows that Cosmoteer is a series you wish to see continued in the future. Next episode, we're almost done with our fleet. The Neutral, Tzeentch, Slaanesh, and I mean technically we already have a Khorne, but that is our Forge, so all we need now is Nurgle. And I might change the Malal's Wrath still to a Khorne name. I mean, just have the right colour scheme now. I don't know. I need to get some sleep anyway. It is now past 1 AM. Thank you so much for watching. Have a lovely day and do take care. Until next time, goodbye.